Hey there, friends. Today I want to talk to you about the parable of the soil. You might be thinking, what's a parable all about? Well, it teaches a lesson, and the parable of the soil is one of the most well-known parables told by Jesus. So let me tell you the story. Jesus was teaching a big crowd of people, and he told them about a farmer who went out to sow seeds in his field. And as the farmer scattered seeds, some fell along the path, and the birds came and ate them up. Some fell on the rocky ground where there wasn't much soil, and they sprouted quickly, but they didn't have enough roots to survive. Others fell among the thorns, which they grew up, and they choked the plants. But some fell on good soil, and they produced a great crop. Now you might be thinking, okay, cool, happy, good, great story. What does it mean? Well, Jesus, he explained it to his disciples because they didn't know either. The seed represents the message of God, and the soil represents our hearts, people's hearts. The different types of soil represent the different ways that people respond to God's message. So the soil along the path represent people who hear the message, but they don't understand it. They're like the birds that come and they eat up the seeds before they can take root. Maybe they're too distracted or they're too busy to really listen to what God is saying. The rocky ground represents people who hear the message. They receive it with joy, but they don't have deep roots. When trouble and persecution comes, they quickly fall away. Maybe they don't have a strong enough faith to withstand all these tough times. The thorny ground represents people who they hear the message and their hearts are too crowded with worries and riches and pleasures and all this stuff in this life. And they don't produce a crop. Maybe they're too focused on worldly things and not enough focused on God. And finally, the good soil is people, they hear the gospel message. They understand it. And they produce a great crop. God's message and our ability to willingly take it, it changes our lives. So what can we learn from this parable? Well, we can learn that it's important to open our hearts and minds to God's message and to let it take root in our hearts. And we should be careful, too, not to be too distracted or too focused on worldly things. We should also be willing to face tough times and have a strong faith that can withstand challenges. The parable of the soil teaches us that the condition of our heart matters when we hear the gospel. So let's strive to keep our hearts to be good soil and receive God's purpose and plan for our lives. May the Lord richly bless you, and I hope to see you in church on Sunday.